What is up, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to the Hateful Truth video game review series, where I give you maximum truth and minimum bullshit regarding my personal experiences with the latest video game releases. And today we're going to talk about a game that, again, I've been asked a lot to do this review because it was a launch title for the Wii U. It's a game that a lot of people are wondering, is it a killer app? Is this the game you absolutely must buy if you're getting a Wii U? And that's your answer. No, I'm kidding. Excuse me. Is this game a must-buy? And it's one of the longest running series of video games ever in history. One of the most, recognizable faces and names. New Super Mario Bros. U. And a lot of people saw this at E3 and they were like, it's Mario in HD. And then they saw some people using the Wii U gamepad and they were like, what is that? So, to clarify, John Rambo and I did a co-op playthrough of this game. And we actually did a completionist's playthrough, meaning we actually went through and got everything in the game. Every single star coin, we unlocked every stage, we did all the optional ways to get out of the stages, we unlocked all the secret star worlds and beat all of those. So we did absolutely everything there was to do in New Super Mario Bros. U. That being said, my opinions of the game are going to be based off of a co-op experience. I didn't play the game solo, therefore I don't know if it would be much harder or much easier to do it solo. And let me tell you, when you're playing New Super Mario Bros. U co-op, you have a couple options. First of all, you either have the option of one person controls Mario and the other person has the Wii U gamepad and is doing things on the screen to help them out, like create jumping platforms and doing stuff like that. Or you could do two-player co-op where one person plays as Mario, one person plays as Luigi or one of the Toads, and the two of you are traversing through the stages together. And so this game actually does technically have the capability to be 5-player if you have 4 Wii remotes and someone else is using the gamepad to do what it's called boost mode, where you're creating platforms and you're aiding the players. But really what I have to say about boost mode is this. Who in the hell wants to do that? Like, if you're watching people play a Mario game, don't you also want to play the Mario game? Really, when you're doing boost mode with the Wii U gamepad, all you're doing, oh, I can finally do something, tap here, oh, let me tap here, and that's all you're doing. Why is that fun? Why did Nintendo think that was fun? It almost, when you're playing the game, it almost feels like this is a direct sequel to Super Mario Bros. For the Wii, and that the boost mode was actually just an add-in that they put into the game later on once they realized that they were going to try to sell this thing with this big clunky gamepad and they wanted to say that the game has functionality with it. It's just not necessary. And to be honest, imagine if you're in a room with 5 people all playing this game and 4 people are all getting to play and they're jumping all over the screen and they're tossing each other and they're doing fun, crazy antics and they're having a blast, and here you are, the poor asshole, I get to tap a screen. You know, like, it's just so lopsided and not an even experience. And I don't know what Nintendo was thinking besides, let's sell a stupid peripheral that no one asked for. So I'm going to tell you right now, my honest opinion is that boost mode is a piece of shit. It doesn't add or detract from my review of the game. I'm going to review the game for what it is at its core. It's a Mario game. How does it fare as a Mario game? That's what people want to know. Not what gimmick bullshit can I do with my fucking gamepad. That's the dumbest thing ever. So my recommendation, when you go to play New Super Mario Bros. U, you take your gamepad and you fucking very gingerly place it somewhere where it won't get damaged, because remember, if you damage your gamepad, there's no way to buy another one. So very gingerly put it to the side, pick up a Wiimote, turn it sideways like a Nintendo D-pad, and just play the game and enjoy it that way, because that's really the core of the Mario experience, okay? So, it's Mario, okay? And I know what you're saying, oh, is it the same as all the others? Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Mario is what it is. You're going to have 8 worlds. Each world's going to have multiple levels inside of it. There's going to be ghost houses that have multiple secret exits. There's going to be fortresses where you have like mini bosses. There's going to be towers where you have each of the Koopa kids as a boss battle at the end. In between there's a couple actual throwback airship stages that are throwbacks to the original airship stages in Super Mario Bros. 3. There's going to be item houses that you unlock where you can get items that you can store and then you can use them between stages. There's going to be one-up houses where you play mini games to try to earn extra lives. There's going to be not random, but monster encounters on the field, actually on the world map, similar to Super Mario Bros. 3, where you might have a Hammer Brother walking around, or maybe a bunch of different kinds of enemies, and then what happens is you get transported to this mini stage, which is just like one screen, where you're facing off against these enemies, and if you successfully kill them without dying, you unlock an item. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. And there's going to be secret exits to stages that lead to a warp, and the warp goes to a secret path that takes you to another stage quickly. If you get all the star coins in a stage, you actually unlock these secret star stages from the end of the game, which are basically a set of 8 secret stages that are only available if you collect all of the star coins in every single stage of a certain chapter of the game. So if you're at level 1, you get all the star coins, you unlock the level 1 star stage, and after you beat the game, after defeating Bowser, it'll unlock that stage for you, and you can actually travel there and play it. Once you unlock all of the star stages, and you complete them all and get all the coins, the final stage opens up, which is actually a throwback to the original stage of Super Mario Bros. 1, where if you remember, you could get a turtle shell, kick it, follow it, and it would keep hitting Goombas till you got a 1-up. That's actually the whole premise of the final stage of the game, which was pretty cool, it was pretty neat, and it made me feel a retro feeling, and I actually enjoyed that being the last stage of the game. Okay, so, that being said, let's talk a little bit about it. First of all, the graphics of New Super Mario Bros. U are outstanding. It's the first Mario game in HD. The visuals are stunning. It's beautiful to see this world finally imagined in HD, since, I mean, every other fucking game under the sun has been HD for like 5 or 6 years now. Finally, Nintendo has caught up, and it's really neat to see Mario in 3D for the first, in HD for the first time. Let's talk game mechanics. It pretty much plays almost identical to New Super Mario Bros. Wii. There's very little new content that's been added here. Let's talk a little bit about the new content. Well, what's the new power-up? Because remember, in every Mario game, they give you a new power-up. In this game, it's the Flying Squirrel suit. Now, this suit gives you a couple abilities. First of all, when you're jumping in midair, if you shake the Wiimote, it'll actually give you a boost up. Now, it's not an infinite boost. It's not like you're flying. It's just like almost a double jump. When you think about it, it's like you jump and then, whoa, another big boost up into the air. Once you're up in the air, you can hold down the button to slowly descend and glide down. There's another ability with the suit where if you just jump in the air and you hold the jump button without doing the shake, you will actually go very quickly left and right, very fast horizontally in midair. And you can actually use this to get to hidden ledges and such during the course of the game. Okay, that's really it for new power-ups. I mean, there's not a lot of new content added into the game. There are some new mini Yoshis in the game that add a little bit. Like there's a Yoshi that actually blows bubbles, and these bubbles turn enemies into power-ups, which is kind of neat. If you grab one of those Yoshis and bring it into a tough stage, you just obliterate all the enemies, end up getting 1,000 power-ups for it. Also, if you're holding a little Yoshi, it actually helps you to swim faster, so it almost makes you like an expert swimmer, which you might need in some of the tougher water stages of the game. There's some pretty neat boss battles, also some pretty boring ones. Like, what I was surprised at is when you beat some of the fortresses, there's the guy from Super Mario Bros. 3, that big turtle who just goes like this, is back as the boss of the fortresses, and he starts off literally just doing this, and you can just jump right on his fucking head and kill him easily. As the game progresses, he changes a little bit. Sometimes he'll jump high, and you have to dodge him once and then jump on his head. Later on, the magician shows up, and he actually transforms this guy with his magic wand, and he becomes big, and now it's a different kind of a fight. You'll also take on the magician in one of these boss fights. But in addition to those boss fights, there's the Koopa Kids, and the Koopa Kids all will do different things. Maybe one of them will have a bazooka that he shoots at you. One of them will have magic that they're using on you, and one of them, the stage will be moving. It's pretty much, though, very similar to Super Mario Bros. 3's boss battles. The difference here being, it's way easier. John and I, as we were playing this, really were never that challenged by the boss fights at all. In fact, if anything, we think the boss fights were pretty much pushovers compared to, some previous Super Mario boss fights that we fought growing up. And we were kind of disappointed in that regard. Why are the boss fights so easy? The gameplay is, like I said, very similar to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but what I want to say is, again, we played this game co-op, and so there were some places where we were able to aid ourselves and actually it was kind of almost cheating. Like if there was a star coin way up here, one person could jump and boost the other person up and they could get the star coin. Now if you're solo, you can't do that. You have to find how you're really supposed to get that coin. Maybe there's a hidden block you were supposed to hit. Maybe you're supposed to have the squirrel suit and fly over to it. That's a possibility, and there were definitely parts of the game where we were able to find hidden stuff and do that because we were playing two-player co-op. So in some respects, two-player co-op makes the game a lot easier. By other respects, two-player co-op makes the game way harder. For example, there are some stages where the stage continuously moves and we were accidentally scrolling each other off the screen and killing each other. We were accidentally jumping on each other's heads by accident. We would jump into spikes or jump into an enemy, and it was just completely inadvertent, stuff that we weren't meaning to do. Now, keep in mind, they have retained the game mechanic from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that if any time you're about to die, you can hold down the A button and you encase yourself in a bubble. And this bubble allows you to float through the stage until you make contact with your partner, and then the bubble will pop and you'll get to be able to play again. You won't be helpless anymore. But you're completely invulnerable when you're in this bubble, and that could be a really cheap way to get out of deaths. And that's actually something that I have a gripe with this game. Because, you know, John Rambo and I were playing, and maybe we get to a tough part, and we'd be like, no, alright, one of us go in a bubble, the other person just beat it. And I was like, no, I don't really want to do that, because that's kind of cheating. Two people should be able to get through this. And, you know, John would be like, listen, Phil, it's a game mechanic. It's in the game. So why are you feeling bad about using something that's in the game? Just use what they put in it to beat the game. And I was like, I don't know, it kind of feels like cheating, because in a way you could just float through a bunch of shit while one guy does all the work. And there were a lot of times in the game when we kind of abused that mechanic, okay? The good news is you can't just use it to beat entire stages. One person has to legitimately beat every stage. Because if two people, or if all the players, per se, go into bubbles at once, excuse me, another burp coming, jeez. If all the people go into bubbles at once, that actually ends the stage and you all lose a life. So, and your power-ups that you had at the time, too. So it does not behoove you to try to cheat and you float through the stage unless you absolutely need to do it. But I still disagree with the game mechanic. I don't know why it's in it. I think maybe it was done because you might have one player who's way better than another, and if it's a bunch of kids playing, you don't want those kids to feel bad, and so you're like, alright, I'll just go in the bubble for now, I'll pass this, and we'll get to an easier part that we can all play together again. And that's kind of unfortunate, because that's really, it makes the game too easy if you abuse the bubble mechanic. Okay, so talking about the game itself and its stages, what I really liked, I liked the graphic design. I really thought it was a throwback to the older Marios, where you have different stages that are catered to different themes. One might be a water stage, one might be an ice stage, one might be a mountain stage, so everything's rocky, one might be a desert. And of course this game has all that. The game has all the typical Mario locales. You're going to see the return of a lot of classic Mario enemies, like the Lakitu, the Spiky, the Beetle, the Bullet Bill, the Cactus Dude from the desert who dances around, you know, all that stuff's in the game. And it's cool to like, oh wow, you call out when you see someone who, you know, one of these enemies that you recognize from previous Mario games. And what I could say is this, these stages are sufficiently creative. There are a lot of stages that were a lot of fun just to play through or to try to figure out. The ghost houses are challenging because you have to find the hidden exits in order to find warp zones and such, and they are very challenging to find all that hidden stuff. A lot of the times John and I had to replay them multiple times in order to find all the star coins and to get everything in those stages. And later on in the game, it does definitely up the difficulty a bit. Some of the later stages are a little bit on the harder side. The star stages in particular, some of those are very challenging. There was one or two that took us like half hour or more to beat. And that's what you expect if you're doing the secret challenging stage. You want it to be that difficult. So I have no complaints in that department. So all in all, New Super Mario Bros. U is a typical Mario game. And a lot of people are going to ask, they're going to draw parallels. Is it better than New Super Mario Bros. 2 from earlier this year? Absolutely, and here's why. Number one, it's an HD, first Mario game in HD. That's a unique thing right there. Number two, some new items. Sure, there's some, you know, a lot of the stuff's rehashed or redone. Yoshi's been around forever. But there's some new items. The stages are all completely original. The music is all completely new, which is awesome. And so, you know, in that regard, it's entertaining. New Super Mario Bros. U really felt like it was something that they dialed it in. They didn't even put effort into it. It was more like let's just take the New Super Mario Bros., make another quick game with the same exact template, don't really add anything new into it, don't even add much challenge into it, and just throw it out there. At least this game has potential to challenge you because you want to find all those star coins, you want to find all those warps so that you can unlock the star stages. As opposed to New Super Mario Bros. 2, which had nothing hidden. It was completely stupid. That it was just like nothing. There was no reason to do anything in it. So at least this game has that going for it. I would even go to say I think I did like it a little bit more than New Super Mario Bros. Wii. But at the same time, I did not like it as much as I just this past year liked Super Mario 3D Land. Super Mario 3D Land, just to explain, if you haven't seen the review of it, because obviously there's no gameplay, it was a handheld game, has a full 8 stages just of regular difficulty stuff. Then after you beat the game, a whole new 8 stages open up that are basically more difficult versions of the original stages, some of which are very, very challenging. If you beat all of that and get all the coins in that, then you have to beat the whole game again with Luigi. Then you have to beat the whole game getting the top of every flag in the game to get the 1-up. If you do that, you unlock a super secret difficult stage that's like super challenging. It takes you hours to finally figure out how to beat it. But if you do, you feel so accomplished. Like, man, I just did all this additional content. And this game, you know, it doesn't have that. It does have an additional Star World with 8 extra stages, but it doesn't have as much content as Super Mario 3D Land. So we've had a year now with 3 Mario releases, and out of the 3, one of them had amazing amounts of content, one of them had a pretty decent amount of content, and then you have New Super Mario Bros. 2, which had not enough content. And you're like, what is going on with these Mario games? Why are they so inconsistent at this point? When you think Mario, you know what you're going to get gameplay-wise, but you should also know what you're going to get length-wise, and that's really where the discrepancy has been this past year. You have different Mario games that are all different lengths and different optional content, and it could be frustrating to figure out which is the one that you want to get. Now, the campaign of the game is about 12 hours long. Typical Mario game kind of length, okay? Now, there is a challenge mode with some challenge stages. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I played it like once. It's not anything to write home about. I never really care about those, oh, it's rush mode, oh, it's challenge mode. Like, that's not the main game. The main game is what it is. That's why people are buying it, not to fucking play some challenge stage. So whenever these games have those, I don't understand why people, oh, it's challenge stages. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? But it is important to mention, okay, outside of maybe the 12, 13 hours you're going to play this game to unlock all the stuff, you may go and play the challenge mode again. Or maybe you want to re-experience the game with the gamepad, if someone using the gamepad, so you can go through it with boost rush mode. I personally think it's a dumb thing to do, because it would probably make the game way too easy, and I don't think anyone would be entertained using the fucking gamepad to draw platforms or whatever. So in my personal opinion, I think that's a waste. But it is important to note, yes, it is possible to do that stuff. The only other thing that I want to mention is that every time that you beat a stage, if you collect all the star coins, or I believe there's certain criteria that you can get. If you do a certain criteria, you have the ability to write something or leave a message. And so you can leave something like, oh, that 3rd star coin's hard to find. You can actually type that out or handwrite it and post it up, and then other people who are playing the game, if they're connected to the internet, will actually see those messages when they reach that stage. It's neat, but at the same time, is that really anything great to talk about? Wow, what a great feature. You can scribble nonsense. And the other thing is, Nintendo is a bunch of Nazis. They actually have people who are patrolling and who are moderating these comments. And in some cases, I can understand. If someone's saying something sexual or something racist or they're swearing, I can understand. But, for example, there was a stage, the entire stage was underwater. It was a swimming stage. When I beat the stage, my message, I hand wrote it. I said, wet. That's it. I didn't say, I'm wet. I didn't say anything sexual. I just thought wet, because it describes the stage. We're going to be wet the whole stage because you're underwater. They moderated the comment and deleted it. I was like, what? That's ridiculous. And so people have actually been complaining that Nintendo is literally being like a Nazi-ish kind of control over the comments. They're just completely going overblown, and they're taking anything that could possibly in any way, even if it's the most unrelated way to relate what you're saying, they're taking that and they're basically moderating it and saying, no chance that someone will get the wrong idea. So you're going to find a lot of the times you'll be saying stuff, and the next thing you know, you look at your inbox, oh look, Nintendo has said that I violated the terms of chatting, and they've deleted my comment. And it's really stupid in that regard. Surprisingly enough, no multiplayer over the internet. And a lot of people might be saying, in this day and age, you know, this is a brand new console, it's supposed to be cutting edge. You can't play the big title, the one that everyone wants, you can't play it over the internet. And the answer is, no, you can't. There's no online features with Mario. So once again, another Mario game where you have to have couch co-op. And a lot of people are happy about that. A lot of people are sure pissed about that because you maybe want to play it with a couple friends over the internet. They didn't bother to do it. So New Super Mario Bros. U, at its core, is what you expect from it. It's a Mario game. It's very similar to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, but it's in HD. It has a couple new items, but not too much. It doesn't deviate too much from the core formula. Where it does deviate, it is a little bit of fun. I did like the new squirrel suit and such. But at the same time, it's exactly what you're going to expect from a Mario game, both in content, in length, like I said, around 12 hours, and if you want to do the additional modes, you may play it some more. Is it a system seller? I would say, if you're the kind of person that's always played every Mario game, and you really enjoy it as a series, if you know that it's like the king of platformers, then yeah, this is probably a game you're going to enjoy. You may even want to pick up a Wii U to play it. But I don't know. For me, it's more of like, okay, it was fun, but it didn't blow me away. For me, here's my gripe, and this is, I really wish someone would answer me on this one. Mario has been fucking fighting Bowser for every Mario game since the dawn of time, except for Super Mario Bros. 2 in the United States, which really wasn't Super Mario Bros. 2. It was called Doki Doki Panic. And John even brought up an important point about that during the playthrough. He said, Phil, why the hell don't they ever bring back those characters? Remember that big mouse boss who wore sunglasses and threw bombs? Why isn't he in this game? What about the Toad King? What about Birdo? Where are all those characters, and why aren't they in these games anymore? And I'm not asking for them to come back, but what I'm saying is, can't Mario do something different? Why does he always have to fight Bowser and the Koopa Kids? I hate to say it, I know the game was trying to be a throwback, but I beat the Koopa Kids back in New Super Mario Bros. Or in Super Mario Bros. 3. I beat, you know, Bowser again in Super Mario World. I fought the Bowser baby already in, what was it, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I've already fought the Koopa Kids multiple times in other Mario titles, including just Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Brothers Wii. Why are we still fighting the Koopa Kids? You get to a point, you're like, enough is enough. Can you please think of something new? I mean, sure, you can make another platformer, but can't you have new enemies? Can't you have new stuff going on? Why can't they make Mario fight someone else? It's just getting blasé at this point. Mario can only do the same shit for so long, and I understand that, oh, it's a new generation now, it's 20 years later, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but okay, you could still do creative stuff that's, you know, not the same fucking rehashed shit, and that's my major gripe with the game. Give me something original. I'm tired. I know you're saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but after, you know, a certain point, you get tired. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. The Harry Potter series have 27 movies, but if they had just kept making movies, wouldn't you eventually get tired of Harry Potter? You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. It's the same plot line, it's the same stuff rehashed every time. We need some originality with the Mario games, and we just haven't seen it with the core platforming Mario games, and that's kind of annoying. So for me overall, I definitely enjoyed the game. I definitely think if you love Mario games, you should get it. At the same time, the game didn't really do anything groundbreaking or original. The new modes, per se, are kind of throwaway modes that really aren't that enjoyable and you're probably not going to give a shit about. All you're going to care about is the main campaign of the game, and, you know, it's Mario. He's good, he's great, he's a classic platformer, but at this point, there needs to be some originality. There really isn't a lot of it in this game. So, weighing in all the factors, I give Super Mario Bros. U, or New Super Mario Bros. U, an 8 out of 10. It's a good game. I definitely think it's a must-get if you're getting a Wii U, but I don't think it's a game that if you don't have a Wii U right now that you need to run out and buy it to play this game. If you've played New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you've basically played this game, only you didn't experience the new stuff and the HD features and stuff like that. You can wait. You can wait till the Wii U is cheaper or whatever you want to, you know what I mean? You don't have to rush out. It's not a system seller in my opinion. It's a great game, but it's not something that you have to go bonkers or bananas over and go get a new system for. So, that's my review for New Super Mario Bros. U. I've been very gassy for this review for some reason. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that now you have a better picture in your mind about what the game is, whether or not you'd like to get it for yourself. If you want to see further and see what I mean about how the co-op in some places makes the game easier and other places makes it harder, definitely check out the co-op playthrough that I did with John Rambo, which is live on DSPGaming, my gaming channel. And you should definitely, you know, take an opportunity to see from that, based off of that, from the gameplay, did you like it or not. So, alright, that's it for this episode of The Hateful Truth. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it informative. I will see you next time for another game review. Peace.